Hey you guys, my name is Mara Sullivan and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about attention spans. We're going to be talking about how to get yours back if you feel like it is on the decline. We're going to be talking about long form content. With the whole TikTok drama, it did open up a conversation about attention spans. It opened up a conversation about the instant microwave society that we live in. It opened up, just obviously a conversation about long form content because a lot of creators started migrating to YouTube and creating um, 30, 60, 90-second videos is a lot different than creating videos that last longer than 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And so I think that, it just created a lot of conversation to talk about um, how distracted many of us are just as a society as a whole, and then our ability to focus on one thing for an extended period of time is something that does not come naturally to a lot of people anymore. And like I said, I am 26, but no matter what age you fall under, if you own a phone, your attention span has been affected in some way, shape, or form, regardless of whether or not you use social media, regardless of, you know, the job that you have. Obviously, I have just started my YouTube channel, and so I am on my phone a lot more. I'm recording this video on my phone. I edit on my phone. I've never like used TikTok, much at all. I think I made an account like 2 years ago, but I never really did anything with it. Um, and so I didn't even like get on Instagram. Well, my Instagram was on private until literally like 2 years ago when I started my podcast. I took it off private, and so I was never super big on social media in general. But like I said, I've always gotten my information for the most part from scrolling on social media because I don't watch the news, and so I pretty much found out what's going on via social media. Um, and I've always loved YouTube. I think out of all platforms, I consume YouTube the most. I think what most people forget is that YouTube is a search engine. YouTube is not necessarily social media, which is why I think that there's so many videos on YouTube about deleting social media and leaving Instagram and getting rid of TikTok. Like a lot of people do realize that there's something about YouTube specifically that you can't find on any other platform. Um, and as someone who has a podcast and is used to that long format of content, I love YouTube so much, even though I just started. Like I said, I've been on YouTube probably since November, so about 2 months. And I do love it. And it is, really nice just to be able to um, just share my thoughts and to not be rushed. Obviously, like there's a get to the point aspect of all the videos that, we watch and all the videos that I try to create. But there's a beauty in being able to take your time. There's a beauty in being able to focus, like I said, on one thing for more than 60 seconds. So it's really nice. I've always loved YouTube. My favorite YouTubers, I've always been consistent in watching. And I love, I love vlogs. I love sit down content. I'll leave a few of my favorite like YouTubers on the screen if you guys want to check out some people that I'm into. Danielle Carolyn, Brooke Michio, they have a podcast together that I love. Kenzie Elizabeth, Jayla Corian, Love Your Natural, Haley Gamba, Alyssa Howard. I've just started watching. I really love. So there's like a few YouTubers, but I love YouTube. I watch, podcasts on YouTube. I love watching Club Random on YouTube. Some of my favorite podcasts that I do, watch on YouTube. And so I think, I want to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments about what you think about long form content. Do you watch YouTube like more than TV? Because that's like something else that's been coming up a lot with YouTube is that YouTube is pushing smaller creators because they realized how many people are actually on this platform that statistics do show that people are actually watching YouTube way more than they watch TV, way more than they watch any streaming service. People are on YouTube a lot more. So is that true for you? I would love to know. Just as a side note, do you watch YouTube more than you watch TV? Because I definitely do, and I didn't really notice it until recently where I'm like, I actually don't like watch movies. I really don't watch. I still do, but like I don't watch movies or TV or TV shows as much as I watch YouTube. Like I used to be huge on reality TV. In the past year, I have not been consistent in watching any season of any show, but I have been consistent in watching my favorite YouTubers, which I just noticed, as I was doing my 2024 wrap up. Sorry if you can hear the ambulance. I was doing my 2024 wrap up on my podcast, and I was talking about, like, normally I do like a wrap up of the seasons of the TV shows that I watched and that I finished because I love Kardashians, I love Housewives, I love um, Love is Blind, like, I love reality TV, and I have not been watching any of it consistently. Part of it is because I did start my YouTube channel. I also, this past year, have been going through grief because I lost my mom last November. So last year was just a lot in general, but I definitely listen to podcasts and I watch YouTube more than anything else. And it never fell off. In fact, it like became more. I think that there was something really cool about um hearing people tell their stories, and something that was really comforting to me was like getting to know my favorite artist a lot more and more in depth, and hearing them share their stories on podcasts, and just keeping up with, like I said, my favorite YouTubers and their lifestyles. And I don't know, I just think that it's interesting, an interesting observation that podcasts and YouTube are so huge right now, when there are still so many amazing like shows and movies that come out, and so many things on streaming all the time. um like I said, let me know down below, do you guys watch YouTube, or like what platform do you guys use the most? For me, I have noticed that it definitely is YouTube. um and so that's part of the reason why I wanted to start my own channel, because I do enjoy it. um, but yeah, going back to getting distracted and staying focused, I think that it is no secret that, so many people today, just the attention spans are just shot. The way that we communicate is so different. The ability to actually look someone in the eye, is becoming a lost art. And it's so interesting to um, just interact with people like in my age bracket and younger, because the way that people my age and people who are younger communicate is different than people who are older than me. And I notice it when I'm talking to different people in different age brackets. um, the attention span is so different, and you can tell when someone like is it's so interesting because people who already like naturally you know, have struggles with focus, whether it's like diagnosed like ADHD and things like that. Um, it's so interesting to see how it affects them even more, and how it's even harder for them to, you know, break phone addictions, and it can be harder to focus and not get distracted. But even if you don't have like a diagnosed, you know, um, I don't like using the word like illness, but you know what I mean. Like if you don't have anything majorly, um, going on with like your ability to not get distracted, the phone in general just, has taken so many of our attention spans. And so um, I think that, it's been really interesting to see how it's affected everyone's ability to focus and pay attention, not just when it comes to everyday life and being able to carry conversations and, look people in the eye and things like that. It affects every area of our life. It has affected people's relationships because you're not paying attention sometimes, and how people work. And Gen Z has been called lazy. And what I've been trying to tell people, and I heard the study done. There's a lady who teaches a class, and she writes, I believe she also writes for the New York Times. Um, and she like defends Gen Z a lot, where it's like we're not lazy. It's just that we have so much more access to information that we just don't have to live our lives in the same way that many of our parents did, or parents, grandparents, and all that stuff. I'm gonna try to leave an interview that I listened to with her on Kenzie Elizabeth's podcast somewhere on the screen. It's a great listen. You should definitely check it out. But she talks about Gen Z and how just different the world is for us. And I think that part of that conversation is attention spans. If you are someone who feels like your attention span has been completely shot, if you are someone who feels like you have such a hard time distracting and focusing, please remember that the first thing that is going to help you is to do more things that make you forget to check your phone. So if you are someone who cannot go 5 minutes without glancing at your phone, like if you're someone who goes absolutely crazy, if you leave your phone somewhere, or if you forget it, or if you have it in another room, like if you like genuinely cannot go 5 seconds without your phone, it's a problem. So you have to figure out how to do more things that make you forget to check your phone. We all know checking your phone first thing in the morning is not great. Um, I my alarm is on my phone, so it's naturally next to me in bed, unfortunately. Um, but I'm trying my best to be a lot more mindful of how I'm checking it. Especially with starting a YouTube channel, it's harder, like even harder for me to not check my phone. I'm being like extra mindful and extra careful of like, okay, I'm posting, I'm editing, like I'm recording, I'm editing, uploading, and then, I'll check it later. Or later, like once a week. Um, I'm really trying to make sure that I'm just not there's no need to check it. Like, if any fires that you need to put out, you're gonna know about. If someone genuinely needs to get through to you, if someone really does need to get in contact with you, they're going to constantly blow up your phone. Like you're going to know when something's an actual SOS emergency. Not everything is. So I think that's the first thing to keep in mind, is that any fires that you need to put out, you're going to know about. So there's no reason for you to like constantly be on your phone. I know that deleting the apps is something that helps a lot of people if you are someone who just is on social media just to consume it. Like if it's not something that you're using to create content or as a career or anything like that, then you really do not need to be on it as much. Like I said, for me, I don't watch the news, and so I do understand people who are like, if I don't like scroll, I don't know what's going on in the world. You don't really need to know. We're not supposed to have this much access to the world anyway. And so like it is okay if you are not up to date on every single thing. Um, and it's also okay to mute accounts. It is okay to um, just mute messages on your phone in general. I'm someone, especially with group messages, always on mute. Um, I love that you can like those like little features that you have on like social media, and the features that you have on like your phones, where you can like just stop notifications from coming in at all times. I don't really keep my phone on do not disturb too much, but I definitely have my notifications turned off for every app. Like I do not need to be notified about anything. Like I no, like I said, anything that I genuinely need to know and need to respond to, I'm gonna know about. And so it's like the constant notifications, you just don't need them. At least I don't. And if you're, like I said, if you're someone who really is looking for ways to get your ability to focus back, um, that's a great place to start, is to turn off your notifications, put people on mute, put accounts on mute, um, and do more things that make you forget to check your phone. And one of the ways that you do that is to start filling your day, start filling your time with things that you genuinely enjoy doing, that you genuinely want to do. If creating content is one of those things for you, then like I said, by default you're going to be using your phone. But for me right now, I'm just using my phone to record, and then I'll edit, and then I'll make myself post, and then like put it away. And so like you have to like figure out routines and habits and things that work for you, so that you're not constantly on your phone. Like I don't even like holding my phone anymore. Like it's actually like it almost gives me the ick to hold it in my hand. Like I want to throw my phone across the room sometimes. Like I cannot stand it anymore. Just because we're all just so addicted to the phone. Like I cannot stand it. The phone like literally makes me sick. Like I cannot. I'm so grateful for it because I love creating content. I love, you know, doing my podcast. I love pursuing YouTube. Like this makes me so happy. But the phone just it kind of gives me the ick now. Even though I'm super grateful for it, I love taking pictures. I love recording videos. Like I said, like I love all the things that we're able to do with it. I'm so grateful for the freedom and for the luxury of having a phone and having apps and Uber and Lyft and all the things that make our lives so much easier. I am beyond grateful for. But you guys know what I'm saying. Like there's a lot of downsides to this too, where just the constant stimulation is so not good. So that's another thing. If you're someone who has to always have something going on in the background, if you're someone who cannot sit in silence or cannot do any task in silence, start doing things in silence, start driving in silence, start I know that working out in silence is very hard to do, because like for me, I do need that like motivation when I'm on the treadmill. I need to be like listening to something like that's going to keep me energetic. Um, but when you're doing everyday tasks, laundry, folding clothes, washing dishes, like start doing little tasks throughout your day without stimulation, without anything on in the background. No podcasts, no music, no TV, no YouTube. Like if you are constantly stimulated at every single point of your entire day, really do your best to go 10 minutes, brush your teeth in silence, like do something, you know, throughout your day. Do things throughout your day, even if it's just for a little bit of time throughout your day that you're doing in silence, so that you give yourself time to think, and that you are also able to be comfortable, like being with yourself in silence. I know that so many people just are uncomfortable sitting in silence, or are uncomfortable with themselves and just in their own company, because they don't even know how to be by themselves, because we're constantly stimulated. Even when we're by ourselves, we have to be listening to something. That's not healthy. You know what I mean? So it's like you gotta, take the baby steps and do the work to make sure that you are helping yourself out when it comes to your cortisol levels. And just like I said, not constantly needing to be stimulated at all times, every single day, throughout the day. Like it is okay to um, do things in silence. It'll help you so much to be more mindful. It'll help you so much to be more present. It'll help you so much, in your relationships and your ability to focus and to listen to people when they're talking, and to, do all the natural human things that we were born to do, to pay attention, to not get distracted every 5 seconds, and to be able to take your time more. I think that that's something that, we're losing as things become more instant and more easy for us to do. We're losing the ability to take our time with certain things, and we expect things to just happen in an instant, because we're living in an instant gratification world. We're living in a microwave society, um, where we are able to do so many things instantly, which again is such a blessing. But all of this stuff does have downsides as well. And so it's really important to be mindful and be honest with yourself when you know that you're kind of, you know, going spiraling a little bit, or like going off the deep end when it comes to genuinely not being able to focus, and really getting distracted very easily, when you're becoming way too dependent, on devices, on constant stimulation. If you really cannot pay attention to people when they're talking, if you can't get through a whole movie without watching your phone, like without checking your phone, or get through a TV show, like you gotta start doing things that really, you know, make you be present and make you forget to check the phone, and really help you to um, just focus a lot more. I think that we cannot talk about like the attention span distraction conversation without talking about being bored, because time is, what all of this stuff kind of boils down to. And so you have to figure out, a lot of people think that they don't have enough time in the day. If you have time to scroll, you have time in the day. If you have time to, consume information or content that has absolutely nothing to do with you, you have time in the day to read, or to get done tasks that you need to get done, to book appointments, and to do different things that you might be putting off doing. You have time. And so you really have to be honest with yourself about ways that you are wasting your time. Be honest with yourself about how much time you are actually spending on your phone and on consuming content, or just doing things that you don't really need to do, or doing things that you're doing just to distract yourself. You really have to be honest with yourself about how you are using the time when you are bored, how you are using the time when you have downtime. Um, are you letting the day get away from you? Are you letting time get away from you? Especially when we're thinking about the new year and having things that you want to achieve, and goals for yourself, and dreams that you want to make your reality. How are you using the time that you have on a daily basis? I love the rule, especially if you are someone who creates content. You have to create more than you consume. But even if you don't, create content, what are other tasks that you need to be doing throughout your day to make your dream life a reality? An exercise that I always, try to tell people to do, or um, tell people that like is a good exercise, is to think about your overall life, like your big picture life, and think about yourself in your 60s, 70s, 80s. What do you want to look back on this time in your life and be able to say that you did? And how do you need to be using your time now to make sure that you are living that, like, that life, and looking back on those memories in the future? Keep future you in your mind at all times. So you really need to, make sure that you are using your time wisely, so that you do not look back on this time in your life, no matter how old you are, and, just have all this time that you wasted. You really need to, make sure that, again, you're just being mindful, and that you're being very, very intentional about how you are using the minutes of your day, because life really does go by super fast. And, the worst thing that you can do is, get through the year and then look back on this year, or look back on your life in general, and like think about how much time you wasted. None of us wants to do that. So, the easiest way to do that is to start taking accountability for how you are spending your time. The little minutes make up the hours, and the hours make up the days, and the days make up your life. And how you use that time is 110% up to you. So make sure that you are being responsible for how you are spending your time. It's really important to make sure that you are doing things that are engaging to you, that you are doing things that are challenging you. I think so many times we get bored just because we're not doing anything that really, stimulates ourselves and our brain. I just talked about like the external stimulation with like TV noise, like outside noise, but it's, that stuff is able to kind of control our lives so much because we're not doing many things to actually stimulate our brain. And so, if you're not taking the time to have hobbies and do things, like I said, that make you forget to check your phone, do things with your hands, do things that, do not involve a device, sports and cooking and things like that, like just do, you know, more tasks and more hobbies throughout your day that have nothing to do with your phone, and just make sure that you are taking the time to be intentional about the things that you're doing, and the conversations that you're having with people, that you're being a little more present when you're talking to people, and that you are, again, making that eye contact even though it's awkward a lot of times, especially in today's world when people don't even know what eye contact is anymore. But it's just really important to make sure that you are um, doing things that are stimulating your brain, that you're taking the time to learn new things, that you're taking the time to do things that are challenging to you. And, when you're really focused on something and doing something that is good for your brain and is helping you to grow as a person, it's, it puts you in the zone. It makes you present. That's why sports are so cool. Like or exercise or working out, like you're in the zone, and you're getting your brain in a space where, like, nothing else matters. Like the world is kind of tuned out. Things that really get you in that zone, try to do more of those things that, just make you super present and super in the moment. Remember that we are not built to multitask. A lot of us think we are amazing at multitasking, and sometimes we are, but our brains are not built to multitask. And when we're doing too many things at once, it actually creates more stress. And so, even though you think you might be reducing your stress by killing two birds with one stone, so to speak, you're actually causing yourself a lot more stress by trying to do more than one thing at a time. So, again, going back to time, that really is everything. So, make sure that you are taking your time with the things that you do as much as possible, that you're not in a rush, constantly trying to go from one thing to the next and trying to do all these things at the same time. Because a lot of times when we do that, nothing is going to end up getting done, or at least not going to get done well. So do your best to make sure that you're actually not multitasking as much as you might want to. And as much as you might think it helps you, and sometimes it does, like habit stacking is, a helpful thing. But at the same time, you can't do too many things at one time. Like you got to do things one at a time. And it's going to help you so much in life if you are able to relax, if you are able to actually take your time, if you're able to do things and not be in a rush um, trying to do them. Remember to just focus on what is in front of you. A lot of times, so many people, anxiety, we all know, is on the rise right now. It's like crazy. It's more rampant than it's ever been. And a lot of that is because people are not able to just focus on what's in front of them. Keep the main thing the main thing. Remember that everyone else's life and what's going on in the world does not have to be true for you. You know, just because you see a headline or you see an article or something is happening to someone, yes, it's okay to, feel for them and empathize and, support other people, but it doesn't mean that your life, has to be experiencing the same detriment or devastation or things like that. So remember to focus on what is in front of you. Know your priorities and stay focused on your life. And in a sense, it sounds a little harsh, but you do have to mind your business sometimes, especially, like I said, when we're in an overstimulated world. It can be so easy to make everyone else's problems and to make the world's problems your problems. I always use the example, just because the world is in a, like, says that or said last year that we were in a recession, didn't mean that that was true for me, because as for me and my house, we were good over here. Okay. Like, and I don't mean that in like an arrogant way, but like, just because people say that one thing is true for the entire population, just like a lot of women say all men are trash. The men in my life are not trash. So it's like, what's true for the world and what a lot of people are so easy to jump on the bandwagon when it comes to negativity and when it comes to fear, it doesn't have to be true for you. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not getting my panties in a bunch just because of who's in office right now. I'm not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just because things are true for a bunch of other people or for the world or for the masses does not mean that they have to be true for you. You create your own peace, you create your life. You have control over how you respond to things and how you deal with situations. And again, what's true for the whole world and other people does not always have to be true for you. And that really does, go back to attention spans. It goes with the ability of being able to take your time and to not be rushed and to not be consuming so much content, especially when it's negative, and a lot of it is negative and fear based. um, it's just, you need to be centered in yourself, and it's going to help you so much in life in general to just be able to focus, like actually focus. Goes back to not getting distracted. Focus on yourself, focus on your life and what you're doing, and stop being so obsessed and so consumed and so easily distracted by other people. Like squirrel, if you know the squirrel reference, which we all should. Comment squirrel down below if you made it to the end of this video. I'm so grateful for you guys. Let me know about your attention spans, your thoughts on long form content. um, do you think that, are you someone who has been like watching YouTube more than you watch TV? Let me know your thoughts on TikTok now. Do you think that short form content is going to change in any way, shape, or form? If you got anything from this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please go subscribe to the channel, check out more of my videos, and let me know any tips or advice that you have for being able to focus and not getting distracted, and just using your time more wisely. Let me know your thoughts on just the phone in general. Are you someone who checks your phone all the time? Are there, things that you do to help you to be on your phone less? I would love to know, and share with, everyone in the community. Share with us all down below any hacks to get off your phone and to get your attention span back if you feel like it is swiftly leaving you. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like I said, give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye.